another hardcore classic WoW video. Now this is going to be video number 3 in my video series on the classic WoW hardcore PTR, where I keep you guys up to date on the development cycle and the bugs that we find and the bugs and glitches that have been fixed. Basically, just keeping you in the loop on what's happening PTR wise, so you can be like caught up to what's happening in the game right now, and probably give you like an indication on how good the servers are going to be before release, and maybe even give you some of an indication on when the servers are coming out, based on how quickly things are moving on the PTR. Now for this video, we're taking a look at some of the bugs we have reported that have been fixed, which I'm very thankful for. We're only on day 4 of the PTR right now, and the things are already getting fixed. Like the majority of bugs and glitches are being fixed right now, which is absolutely fantastic. Now for this video, there's one main thing that I want to address, and that is a question that I've gotten a couple of times now, actually like more than a couple of times. It's something that I keep seeing repeat itself, and that is the fact that we're finding bugs on the PTR. Now a lot of people are saying that we're finding bugs on the PTR in a 19-year-old game, and that makes them think the servers are going to be bad, because a 19-year-old game should be flawless. But for the PTR, you have to remember, the PTR was first based on the Season of Mastery client, which was why there was an NPC at the beginning that sold epics, for example. That was a leftover NPC from Season of Mastery. After Season of Mastery, they then slapped the Dragonflight client, or the Dragonflight patch, onto that client, and now reverted that back to a brand new patch for Classic era. So what could have happened here is that they've just been slapping patches on patches onto brand new clients and making a new Classic era client, to where some of their codes might have just broken. Now fixing a code can be very simple, but can also unravel more bugs and glitches down the line, but overall should be very easy to fix. So instead of judging the success of the PTR based on how many bugs we find, I usually judge the success of PTR or any test rounds or any testing based on how many bugs they fix. If we find 10,000 bugs, but they fixed literally every single one of them, that to me is a successful PTR, because we are here to test those servers, find those bugs, report those bugs, and if they get fixed, we're good to go. But if we find 100 bugs and only 10 of them gets fixed, we are still stuck with 90 bugs. So in this case, it's all based on how many they fixed, not based on how many we find, right? So the fact that we're finding some bugs, I just think is great. It's supposed to happen, it's a public test realm after all, and they're fixing them very fast, which makes me very hopeful. And I'm just gonna say it right now, I am very, very impressed with what Blizzard has been doing so far for hardcore servers. They've been doing way more than I personally thought they would be, like adding the 24-hour lookout on dungeons, for example, which isn't a 24-hour lookout, by the way. The way it works right now, it resets like a heroic dungeon, so every single day at 9 AM server time is when dungeons are resetting. So if you want to, you can wake up at 8 AM and chain 2 dungeon runs back to back, the way it works right now, and I'm thinking that's the way it's going to work later down the line as well. So instead of having an individual 24-hour timer between dungeons, they reset every single day at 9 AM for dungeons. Now that one I didn't even think was going to be there. Like, all I thought they were going to do was fix some of the actual ways to grief people, like mob leashing and so on, pulling mobs onto people, and then adding like death equals ghost. But they're doing way more, which is really impressive if you ask me. Now props where props is due, like they should get some credit for that, right? And for the bugs as well, they've been fixing things very fast. Now we have been reporting some bugs recently, like for example jumping and disconnecting. If you jump onto a mob and the mob then CCs you, slows you down, traps you, or any form of CC while you're in the air, either by jumping or falling, you will DC, and obviously disconnecting is a big part of hardcore. Like if you DC, you're pretty much dead, right? So we're trying to avoid any DCs we can, which is why this particular bug has been like very annoying on the PTR. But then again, they talked about this bug very early, and the reason why it hasn't been fixed before now is because it's been a weekend. We have to give them some slack on the weekends. It's a weekend after all, and literally on Monday, the first day after the weekend, they fixed it again. So now we're good to go. There is one more bug as well. We'll just take a look at exactly what's happening here and what they're fixing, just to keep you up to date on what they're doing. Because so far we have been talking about what we have been finding, like bugs wise and glitches wise. Now it's time to talk about what Blizzard is doing to fix those. So for this, we can go over to the WoW forums and go to the Blizzard tracker. That way you can see like every blue post at the same place. So here we go. First of all, there's two bugs to talk about here. You have a hotfix for Fenris the Devourer in Shadowfang Keep. Now, I usually skip Shadowfang Keep, so I haven't really encountered this one, but there was a bug for him that has now been, like, a hotfix has been deployed, and the encounter should now work as intended again. Once again, just fixing things. You also have the disconnect deaths on jump plus stuns or jump plus CC, like any type of like slowing down, netting, stunning you, and then that being a DC. A bunch of people, myself included, has rebounded jump to shift plus space or anything else than just regular space to combat this bug or this issue, and now here we go. A hotfix has been deployed for this issue and it should now be resolved, and thank you for your patience. Now there is one more thing that hasn't been stated in the blue post yet, but that Addon has talked about on his Twitter account, which is this one right here. We have a hotfix. Yes, I'm using a white background, deal with it. We have a hotfix going out for infinite range cleave/swipe, as well as a server crash. We will need to restart the PTR for this. Apologies, but we wanted to fix these issues or get these fixes out before the holiday. So this is a hotfix for range cleave, which we talked about in yesterday's video, right? Where cleave pretty much has an infinite range, or a big range at least, minimum 50 yard range on cleave and swipe, as well as a server crash. So once again, just delivering left, right, and center, if you ask me. Just based on us being in day 4 of PTR, and they're already ironing out most of the big issues and big things that they need to fix. They're already fixing them, which makes me very hopeful. Now, all of this being said, there are still a couple of things that do need to get fixed, like for example some of the class trainers inside a lot of places actually. The Warlock trainers on the Horde side I think still are bugged, like both in Orgrimmar and Undercity. Most of the Mage trainers on the Alliance side are also bugged, where they don't train you, and one of the Night Elf trainers in Darnassus, they will simply not train you. Even if you click on the train abilities action, or like the NPC dialogue, it will still take you to unlearning talents. So some of the class trainers, they seem to just not work as intended, but based on how quickly they were able to fix disconnecting on death, like disconnecting on jump and then dying from that, fixing the Devourer instance thing, and now fixing swipe as well, they're working very fast on fixing these things. So class trainers I don't think should be that big of a problem, and there should be one hotfix coming out probably later this week addressing that issue as well. So it looks like everything, or most of it, is being fixed on a very quick basis. It's getting fixed quick, and like I just talked about, for me, I'm judging the success of the PTR based on how many things they fix, not how many things we personally find. So far I'm actually very happy with the PTR. It's looking very good if you ask me, and I'm very hopeful. As for the launch, I still think we're like 4 or 5 weeks away. Now I'm actually suggesting August 9th. I hear some other people are saying August 16th, so we'll see. But August 9th or August 16th looks very doable. Maybe even like late July, but that's me overdosing on copium, so I think early August would be like more realistic, right? Either way, that's just my video for today, and just keeping you in the loop on what's happening on the PTR. It's the first like actual hotfixes we're getting, and I think they're worth mentioning and worth knowing about. Either way, if you enjoyed the video series, leave a like down below. I'm streaming every single day live on Twitch and on Kick, so you can watch on the platform that you prefer. Either way, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.